Before you embark on this part of the testimony, 7 years in hell, be sure to look up the previous parts to understand fully the powerful and supernatural journey. I was often sickly throughout the time I was in bondage to Lucifer. The hospital had become my second home. It all began when I failed on a mission to capture a sorcerer, whom I had been sent by Lucifer to kill. This sorcerer ended up giving his life to Christ. Because of this, I felt as if life had no meaning. I was always depressed, and demons were always tormenting me. I was only healthy when I was performing at secular concerts, but all of the other times, I would be sick. I hated the church, and my other mission now was to go back and re-empower myself on the rolling mountain and get more demons to fill me, and then come back and fight the church again. But then I heard a voice telling me enough is enough, you will not succeed on this next mission. I looked around to see who was talking to me, but I couldn't see anyone. So I ignored the voice and continued on my mission. Days after that, I launched various attacks against the different churches, but I did not succeed in any of them. Again, I elaborate further about most of these missions and about my successes as well as failures while on satanic missions in my second book. Etika Part 2, 18 Years with Lucifer. After failing on those missions, I decided to go back in and consult with Lucifer personally. He told me that there were certain things which I had not done that I needed to do in order to preserve and protect my powers. He said some of the things that I needed to do was to first of all successfully kill my mother and kill my younger brother Evans and also cause my dad to lose his mind. Then he told me that I needed to initiate for pastors' children, and by doing this I would have authority over all of the churches. He then sent me to a school which was owned by one of the top sorcerers in Uganda. Satan commanded me to go to that school because very many pastors would bring their children to this school because the school was very well constructed, and its buildings were very modern in their appearance. However, these pastors had no idea that the owner of the school was a very high-level Satanist. Satan told me that if I attended the school, I would immediately be made a prefect. The other condition was that I would not pay school fees at the school, and I would be able to study for free. Then I would use whatever money my parents gave me for school fees as my own pocket money. Satan's instructions this time really broke my heart. Because in my family there are only 4 of us, my mother and father included, and I did not want to murder them. This caused me to share what I was going through with a celebrity artist by the name of Radio, who was a popular secular artist musician. Radio then told me that nothing in this world is for free, and everything has a price. He also told me to be very careful, because if Satan was to find out that I was tired of doing his will, he would kill me. So, at this point things had gone too far for me, and I really wanted to escape, but I had no idea how. Meanwhile, Satan was putting me under pressure, because he really wanted me to do what he commanded me to do. At this point I was in extreme fear. I could be walking in town and just start running for my life because agents of the devil were coming for me to murder me. Satan would release his agents to come and kill me in order to put me under pressure to do whatever he had commanded me to do. Even before I failed in my mission, Satan did not want me to even think about anything else until I had done whatever he had commanded me to do, which was to kill my parents and my family. When my senior 4 results came, I was supposed to go to a certain school, and the only person who could help me to get into that school was my uncle. So, my mother told me to go to Uncle's house so that he can help me to get into the school that I wanted to get into. At Uncle's home every evening they would hold prayers before bed. It was then that he began to realize that I would struggle through prayer time. One evening after everyone had prayed, he told me to remain behind for more prayer. As the rest of the family went to bed, when he started praying for me, I fell down and started moving like a snake on the floor. He realized that I had a lot of demons, so he started casting them out. He was very much used to the ministry of deliverance, so it did not surprise him much. He only wondered how this young girl, whom he had known since childhood, had gotten all of these demons. So, he continued to cast them out and many left. After a long struggle, he asked the remaining demons to identify themselves and say where they had come from. Mark 5:09, the demon said, "I am a snake. I was sent by her uncle to kill her, and I have been causing her to eat my food. I make her eat soil, soap, chalk and charcoal. Chalk and charcoal." My uncle didn't know this uncle, so he asked him who he was. The demon said he had died 2 years earlier, but all the same they were here to kill me. This uncle was the same person who attempted to kill my grandmother, only to find that she had superior witchcraft which actually caused his death. So, my uncle commanded the snake to leave me and go into the wilderness. He'd asked him, "Why should I go?" He said, "Because Jesus died for her on the cross of Calvary." He said, "I was there. I saw him die. So what?" Uncle realized that this was the old serpent called Lucifer who the Bible has spoken about. The good news is that he was defeated on the cross of Calvary and Satan is under our feet. So, my uncle said, "Jesus defeated you on the cross of Calvary and gave me power and authority to cast you out of people's lives. Through that authority I command you to leave her now." He also quoted Matthew chapter 28:8, "And Jesus came and spoke to them, saying, All authority has been given to me in heaven and on earth. Go therefore and make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all things that I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. Amen." Then the serpent screamed through me with a very loud voice and left. When I regained my full strength, Patrick asked me whether I had been eating chalk and soap because he had never heard of anyone eating such things. I cried and told him I've eaten boxes and boxes of my mother's chalk. My mother is a teacher, and she used to own a small private nursery school in Ginger with about 50 children. My mother used to keep some boxes of chalk in the house, and her chalk would always go missing. Even if my mother hid the chalk in the ceiling, at night I would hear the sound of a snake, and my nose would become super sensitive and lead me to where the chalk was. I would also eat a lot of salt and clay, commonly known as mumbwa in Uganda, and popularly used by pregnant women. When my parents bought a sack of charcoal, I would pour it down in the night and start looking for soil particles and charcoal dust, which I would eat in great quantities. After the devil was cast out of me, I could not eat soap, chalk, or charcoal and soil because I could not digest them anymore. That snake digestive system was no longer in me. When this snake spirit was cast out of me, the weird eating habits stopped. My health greatly improved, and for a period of about 8 months, I never felt sick. My parents were so excited and testified to many people in the church about my deliverance. They were all convinced that I had been delivered, and everyone thanked God for that. But what they didn't know was the full depth of my spiritual bondage. One time when I went to the village with my parents to visit my grandmother, when they tried to tell her what had happened to me and how the Lord had delivered me, she seemed to know everything that had taken place during that time without anybody telling her. She cooked some food for everyone and made me some milk tea and secretly put charms into it. When I drank the tea, it reinstated the snake system, and I went back to square one. I started eating charcoal, dust, and chalk again, and I became sickly all over again. One time I even fainted at school. They had to rush me to the hospital. They put me on a drip, but my condition worsened so much that my parents and the other people there almost lost hope. They knew I was going to die any minute, but my brother came into the room and prayed for me and pleaded with God to save me, and God heard his prayer and saved my life. My health continued to worsen, and I was diagnosed with every kind of disease, but none of them seemed to respond to treatment. In February 2008, after my O-level results were released, I told my parents that I can only go to a certain school. They had no idea the proprietor was a devil worshipper who owned many schools around the city. They had no idea, of course, that he was a Satanist. I did not mind going to any one of his schools. My parents tried to suggest alternative schools, but I could not allow it. Since the schools were in Kampala, where my uncle lives, my parents sent me to his place. During this week of searching for a school while staying at my uncle's house, he decided to pray for me, because he found out about the sicknesses that had been attacking me and had attacked me again. Although he had prayed for me when I visited, he decided to pray again to check whether I was okay. When he started praying for me, I fell down, and demons started manifesting, screaming through me. He addressed them and commanded them to go. As the demons began screaming, my grandmother and my aunt started manifesting. When he cast them out, other demons started manifesting. Human spirits of other aunties, and a lot of other human spirits manifested, saying how they entered and what they came to do. Even the spirits of some people he didn't expect. Even some of my uncle's own brothers and sisters manifested through me, because they had also bewitched me. This was witnessed by one of my aunts on my maternal side and my uncle's wife and my uncle's brother, because they all attended his deliverance session. They were in disbelief as all these demons met. Eventually I regained my senses fully, and everyone thought that this time I'd been fully delivered. My full deliverance may have taken close to 3 years. After 2 days, on a Sunday afternoon after church, my uncle decided to pray for me again. If you are loving this video, please hit both that subscribe and like button to help this message to spread far and wide. Check out the rest of the playlist 7 Years in Hell here on this YouTube channel. Thank you for supporting the Wake Up channel. God bless you.